All right, y'all. I married a warlock in 3 months, and I lost everything in 60 days. Now, this is a very popular story time that's been going around on TikTok. I wanted to watch it with y'all so we could all react to it in real time. All right, let's go.
I married a warlock. Stay tuned. Yes, I said it, y'all. When I was 21 years old, I married a warlock. And at the time, I didn't know what a warlock was. So when I was 21, I was getting ready to move out of my apartment. I was actually moving out of my apartment because I remember God just like preparing me for more. And I was breaking myself out of the poverty mindset, and I no longer wanted to live in an income-based home anymore. I had finally began making a lot more money to where I was not approved for food stamps anymore, which I was so excited about that because God was literally breaking me out of poverty. Now, where I messed up was around that time is that I still had a void. Like I was still missing something, and I just wanted love. I was 21 years old, and I just wanted love along with all the other things, of this world. And at the time, I can say in a way I would be disobedient to God just to obtain what I wanted. And it wasn't on purpose because I'm literally walking this walk for the first time. Long story short, I meet this man, and it felt like we were just like meant to be. And he was my maintenance worker, but I kid you not, I did not speak to him or did not talk to him until I was actually moving out. And I needed help moving some things out. We ran across each other. We exchanged numbers. That's how that went. So me listening to other people rather than me just going to where I was about to move to and, just hustling my way in, out of other people's fears, I end up staying in that town. And that just opened the door for me to have more conversations with this dude. Long story short, I fell for him, head over heels, and boom, I married him within like 90 days, y'all. I know that's crazy, right? Yeah, I married him within 90 days. Now, what I did not know is that I was marrying the devil himself, okay? Yeah, the business that I had, the money that I had, all of that dried up within 60 days of me being married to him. I was dead broke. I went from literally scaling my business, getting one of my first big business loans, to being broke, not even able to pay the loan no more within 60 days of marrying him, y'all. I did not know what was going on, but I was trying to do right by the Lord. That I'm praying. I'm like, Lord, yeah. So this man wanted to have a baby. He begged me down for a baby. I didn't want no baby, but because I married him, I gave him a baby, y'all. That was one of the worst but best decisions I could have did because I love my son to death. But that man literally was sent in my life to destroy everything God had for me. And at that moment, he did. It got to the point where I was having to depend on him financially, and he found every which way to break me down mentally, emotionally, and physically, to where I did leave him within 6 months. But here's the kicker. This is how he was a warlock. You guys, I kid you not, there would be moments that I would pray to God, and I'm going to give you guys a few instances. So there was a time where I knew, all the stuff that I was going through with him, and it was very hard. It was very hard. But it was like I would be praying out to God. And every time I would pray out to God, somehow he'd pick up the phone and call me. And the very thing that I was just praying about would be the topic that he's talking about on the phone. Literally, this has happened at least 5 times throughout our marriage. Like, I'm praying out to God about something and he's calling me. Now, a normal person would be like, oh, God is answering my prayers. And that's what I was thinking at first until it got really creepy, okay? And what God showed me was that me marrying him, God turned me over to the devil. God turned me over.
Wait, hold on. She said, I got to rewind it for a second. She said she was praying to God and then he would know the specific topic that she was praying without her even sharing that with him. Is that what she said?
And it was very hard. It was very hard. But it was like I would be praying out to God. And every time I would pray out to God, somehow he'd pick up the phone and call me. And the very thing that I was just praying about would be the topic that he's talking about on the phone. Literally, this has happened at least 5 times throughout our marriage. Like, I'm praying out to God about something and he's calling me. Now, a normal person would be like, oh, God is answering my prayers. And that's what I was thinking at first until it got really creepy, okay? And what God showed me was that me marrying him, God turned me over to the devil. God turned me over to a reprobate mind. And whatever I went through, now the devil, God did not let the enemy really get me, as in knock me off. But it was a situation where God literally had to kind of let me do what I do and I had to find my way back to him. And that's exactly what happened. So I kid y'all not, when I left my ex-husband, I never forget July 4th of last year, I prayed out to God, and this was the first time I ever begged God to pull me away from him. I would always pray that God would work my marriage out. I would always pray for God to work things out. But this time I prayed to God that he would break me free from my ex-husband. And I literally have the video in my phone if y'all want it, right? I will literally, if y'all want that video, I will see y'all that video. I prayed a long prayer that night. I kid you not. After I went to sleep, this was July 4th, 2024. After I went to sleep, within 5 minutes of me going to sleep after praying, my ex-husband called me, and I have the proof of that too. I took a screenshot. That man called me and begged me not to leave him. Y'all, he was a warlock, and he is a warlock. And you have to be very careful, because many people that walk in manipulation, many people that walk with a Leviathan and a Jezebelic spirit, they are meant to destroy you. And if you're not careful, they would literally destroy the destiny that God has for you. Thank God that even though after that I talked to him, it was so clear as day over the next few weeks of what God was telling me to do. And I had finally picked up the strength to walk away from that man. And when I tell you guys, breaking them soul ties ain't easy. That man wanted to stay married to me and stay connected to me until the day I walked away from him. And if I need to go in detail on even that, I will. But you have to be very careful of the men that you come in contact with, because many of them are meant and sent to destroy the destiny that God has for you. Yes, I married a warlock. Yes, his mom is in witchcraft, which I did not know about until after I was already married to him for months. But I kid you not, he's a warlock, and I know he is. He may not play with witchcraft actively, but he's a witch, okay? He's a witch, simple, including his mama. Then his son standing at the stairs right now talking about witch. He supposed to be asleep though. I seen him in the bed an hour ago. He's standing in the hallway talking about witch. This is stuff I be talking about. That's a little scary too.
This is stuff I be talking about. I'm not even gonna comment on that. I'm not even gonna comment on that. She said something. She said, you got to be very careful. Excuse me. You got to be very careful with the people that you're dealing with from a relationship standpoint, because they could essentially derail the path that God has laid out for you, right? And they could lead you down a whole separate path, which I completely agree with, right? And the Bible indicates to that point as well. I also thought it's interesting in the comments. This is what Kathy said in the comments. Who's Kathy? I'm not sure, but Kathy seems to be very wise. Kathy said, ladies, pay attention to a key point. She wanted to be in love. That desperation will cause you to end up with someone that will ruin your destiny. It's not over until God says it is. Leave that man and cry out for repentance. That's a very great comment. That desperation will cause you to end up with someone that will ruin your destiny. That desperation, right? And look, we all want love. Let's just be real. Can we keep it real for a second? We all want love. We all want love. We all want to experience that. You know what I'm saying? We all want to be cuddled up. We all want to be, you know what I'm saying? We all want that. We do. But you got to allow God to work it out on his timing. You got to allow God to work it out on his timing. And listen, let's just keep it real. Sometimes we go against God's timing and we seek a person and it works out, right? Sometimes God extends grace for us in that area and it works out. Sometimes it ends terribly bad. So the advice that I could give you is pray that it happens on God's timing. Pray that it happens on God's timing. in his timing alone. And he will restore everything to you and to your family. He will restore it. He wants to bless your marriage. He wants to bless your marriage. But allow God to have some time to show you who that person is going to be, and also to build you up personally, and to make sure that you're going to be the proper spouse that can serve in the way that you are meant to serve. I'm talking to both, women and men, because men in marriage, we are called to serve our wives. We are. The Bible says to lay our life down as Christ, died for the church. We're supposed to lay our life down for our wife. You hear all this like, she got to submit. All right. Yeah. Submission. That's correct. But who is she submitting to? Who is she submitting to? Ultimately, she's submitting to God. And God told us as men to lay our life down for our wife. So, hey, what somebody say? What Shanti say? Shanti talking about, this is scary. My ex was a demon. I lost my job, then crashed my car. Then my hair fell out and wouldn't grow for 2 years. He is now in jail. My whole life changed and my hair is growing back. Yo, Shanti, I hope you're okay. That sounds crazy. Yeah. What do y'all think? Get in my comments, like this video. I'm out, y'all.